We don't know what the weather is going to be like around here. I do get really anxious during storms.
That's why they chose HailGuard. When performance leads, confidence follows. Backed by the first and only asphalt shingle system with a hail warranty.
That just gives us more peace of mind.
This is the only asphalt product on the market that has the manufacturer warranty targeting the hail damage, and it gives me a lot of confidence as a contractor.
Engineered for enhanced impact performance. Built to protect homes and reputations. HailGuard shingles. Built for hail.
Hey there, crew. Matt Meister here on this Thursday afternoon. It is 5:30, about on the nose now, and I am going to jump right to it here. Our severe weather coverage on Peaks to Plains Weather, of course, is sponsored by Tamco Building Products, and Tamco Building Products have HailGuard shingles that are beyond Class 4, and I am going to jump to what is the most immediate situation here across southern Colorado, because we've got a strong thunderstorm here off to the southeast of Pueblo. So let me pull up the Tamco Live for you, and you can see where we have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect until 5:45 p.m. This storm is right on the border of Huerfano County and Pueblo County. It has weakened a little bit since Mary was on a little bit ago, so it's gone from about 2.5-inch diameter hail potential down to about just under 2 inches, I would say. So a little bit smaller than chicken eggs is kind of where we're looking here. And you can see that the storm keeps kind of rolling off to the southeast. It does have a nice little core on it, though. It has shown some signs of rotating. The updraft rotating, helping to separate the updraft from the downdraft. That's one of the reasons why the storm has been producing some large hail here. And as I look at it right now, it doesn't look like there is an immediate tornado potential with it. It's something we'll keep an eye on, though, as the storm has weakened just a little bit. You can see here where the core of the storm is, literally right on the county line. It is off to the northeast of Walsenburg by about 21 miles, off to the southeast of Colorado City by about 15 miles. So it's over some pretty remote area currently as it continues moving off to the east here at about 20 miles per hour, probably a little bit more southeast than the computer is tracking it off to the east currently. I want to show you the visible satellite here because you can see that where we have had some clearing this afternoon along the southern foothills, that's where the storms have popped this afternoon. And it's right on the western edge of moisture behind the cold front that's been backing in from the northeast here through the day today across southern Colorado. As we look at the next several hours, this is the area that has the most significant energy for storms. And the storms are going to kind of roll right along the southeast or southwestern edge, I should say, of this moisture. And so we'll keep kind of watching them here in the same area for the next little bit. They're going to kind of roll right along this axis here. As we move through the evening, we will have the potential for these storms to have gradual eastward sort of drift with them. And so the most likely areas to see severe storms at this point are kind of along and south of Highway 50, where the storms are and the expected movement of them eastward. But notice up to the north, where we have seen some clearing this afternoon. We had earlier storms up across the Pikes Peak region that made a little bit of a mess across some of the neighborhoods on the northeast side of Colorado Springs toward Banning Lewis Ranch, and it has cleared out up in this area. And so that could develop another thunderstorm or two, especially if we get from these storms that are kind of rolling off to the north. So there are several things to watch for here as we head through the rest of the afternoon, because we do have plenty of fuel for these storms as we've got dew points in the low to mid 50s. Now, that's not as high as what we had earlier in the week. And so for the large scale, we don't expect the hail to be as large as the storms were earlier in this week, but it's still certainly something to keep an eye on. We don't have any severe thunderstorm watches in effect for southern Colorado as of now, and it's kind of this cluster of storms off to the northeast of Walsenburg, off to the southeast of Pueblo. And then there is one storm on Highway 160 off to the east of Trinidad, which is just to the northwest of the Branson area right now. That storm is located off to the northwest of Branson, about 10 miles, and literally sitting right on the highway. That one could be producing some hail that is around perhaps an inch in diameter, getting close to that if it's not at it. So we'll keep an eye on that one. The other action in the area is up across southeastern Wyoming, where there is a big mess of thunderstorms moving towards Cheyenne right now. Some wind makers here, and there is a tornado warning moving right toward the Cheyenne, Wyoming area. So we'll keep kind of an outside eye on that. It's just radar indicated right now, but obviously anytime that you see a tornado warning moving toward a metro area, you kind of keep an eye on that. And some of you are like, well, I don't think Cheyenne, Wyoming is a metro area, but you know, it's Wyoming's metro area, so we'll keep an eye on it there. But certainly the biggest storm going right now is along and north of Highway 10 and east of I-25. And so between Walsenburg and La Junta, we've currently got the biggest impacts. And the most significant storm is the north of these three updrafts that you see here. It is larger in area, it is more intense, and it has certainly more capability to produce some damaging hail than the other storms that are a little bit farther to the south. But we'll watch all of these because they are in an environment favorable for the growth of these thunderstorms. You see that the vertically integrated liquid with the two updrafts that are to the south of the severe updraft, they just don't have as much water vertically in them right now, so that's something we'll keep an eye on. But notice how this storm here, as it was moving away from Colorado City, had the potential to produce, and we haven't had any reports necessarily as of yet, which I think is good news here. But there was, for about 15 minutes, the potential for some hail greater than 2 inches in diameter. That has dropped. Most recently, we're kind of measuring around 1.5 inches or so. As I said, the cell has weakened a little bit since Mary got on here a little while ago. So that's the current situation. We have another 10 minutes to go here on these severe thunderstorms that we are watching across the southern parts of Colorado. And it may not be the only severe storm that we have here this evening. So for areas that are kind of to the north of Highway 10, for those of us that are right on the county line, the storm is going to continue in our area and is going to keep moving off to the southeast here. Again, it's moving about 22 miles per hour. And we have this severe thunderstorm warning in effect for another 10 minutes. I'll take the opportunity to talk about what the difference is between a watch and a warning. I think it's always a good idea to remind that. Sometimes I forget that, I live this stuff and some of us aren't as familiar with it as I am. So let me pull that up here because a watch and a warning are two totally different things. So like I said, there are no severe thunderstorm watches that are in effect right now. We have a severe thunderstorm warning, which means severe weather is occurring, and if you're in the path of the storm, you need to take action. A severe thunderstorm watch is issued when on the large scale conditions are favorable for the development of severe thunderstorms over multiple counties, over multiple hours, and that is sort of the heads up, kind of be weather aware and pay attention to the situation. But what's happening right now is different. And everybody loves food, so I like to put this kind of in relation to food. And I love tacos in particular. I love Mexican food. So if you have all of the ingredients for tacos that are out on the counter, it's like, hey, we're ready to go. But you're not ready to shove the taco in your mouth. There's still some work to do. It's the same thing for the atmosphere. That would be a taco watch. But once you have everything put together, you are using the ingredients. That's a taco warning. That means time to take action now, time to put that taco in your mouth. Same deal with a severe thunderstorm warning, a tornado warning. We had a flash flood warning across northeastern El Paso County earlier today with the storm that produced more than an inch of rain. It means it's time to take action. That severe weather is occurring or is imminently about to occur. And what does a severe thunderstorm mean? So we have a severe thunderstorm warning right now. What does that mean? Well, it means a couple of things because my friends at the Weather Service issue these things when in their analysis, they think one of three things is happening. Either some wind gusts above 58 miles per hour, at or above 58 miles per hour, hail at an inch or greater, or if a thunderstorm has a funnel cloud or has produced a tornado, or we think could produce a tornado, it instantly makes a storm severe. And in that case, they would issue a tornado warning rather than a severe thunderstorm warning. So that's kind of a wrap up for you. Since I've got you here right now, I'll do a little bit of an update into what I think is going to happen this weekend. So we've got this area of high pressure off to our south, and as we move into the weekend, we are going to see things change just a little bit. And here's how. And I'm going to fast forward us to tomorrow afternoon, and we'll start talking about what things look like. Because tomorrow, I think the threat for severe weather is kind of east of the Front Range. We may see a thunderstorm or two, but as they move away from the higher terrain, they'll get a little bit stronger. And tomorrow's actually a day where hail may not end up being our biggest risk. It's downburst winds because we're starting to dry the atmosphere out. Excuse me. And why are we doing that? Well, we have this system coming at us from the northwest, and you see a pretty strong jet stream with that thing that is barreling into Northern California and into Oregon. As this system moves eastward into the weekend, it thins the moisture out and completely dries us out. So on Saturday, I don't have any storms in the forecast. I don't have them in the forecast for Sunday as well. And you see we start grabbing air from the desert southwest. It's going to be windy too. And so that combination of dry, of wind, and of warmth, because we are going to get hotter from what we've got out there today, all means fire weather concerns on the large scale. And so we'll see temperatures at single or triple digits as we head through the weekend over the eastern plains, and it's a fire danger weekend. So again, a chance of a storm along the Front Range tomorrow, but then you see the big bump up in temperatures for Saturday and Sunday. We will get a little cool front to move in early next week, but for the most part, it's going to be hot. And then the forecast gets a little bit interesting here as we head toward the 4th of July holiday. I'll come back to that in a second. Pueblo will be around or at 100 with wind over the weekend. That's why we have fire weather concerns. Get a little bit cooler, but stay hot early next week, and then get hot again toward next weekend. And then you see what is the interesting part of the forecast here, because even our mountain areas dry out over the weekend as we look at the forecast for Woodland Park. But then by maybe next Thursday into Friday and Saturday, we start to watch for the chance of enough moisture around over the mountains that we start to talk about the chance of some thunderstorms. And there's a reason for that. And so I'm going to show you what makes the southwest monsoon. Because as we get into July, that's something that we start watching for. And there are a few things that happen. It's so hot this time of year in the Sonoran Desert that you end up with this area of low pressure that we call a heat low that on a daily basis is kind of right around Yuma, Arizona, which is right on the border of Southern California and Arizona. That's one of the things that is the ingredients or the mechanics for the monsoon. The other thing is this area of high pressure that sort of ends up over Texas or over somewhere, we hope, to the southeast of Colorado, because that's the best position for us. And those two things will work together to draw moisture up from the south from a combination of sources, from the Gulf of Mexico, from the Gulf of California to the east of Baja, Mexico, and sometimes from the eastern Pacific Ocean as well. And so here's kind of the ideal situation for what we want. We want that high to kind of park over Texas or sometimes Oklahoma for like 5 days to a week, and we get that sustained flow out of the south. That's when we really draw moisture up. Now the high will kind of oscillate around a little bit, through the month of July and even into early August. We watch the monsoon. That heat low is a pretty consistent feature on an almost day-to-day basis. Well, here's kind of the pattern as we head into next weekend. And this new model run isn't as strong with where the high is off to our east, but it has hints of it. And so you can see we start to draw some moisture up. You can see it from Mexico into New Mexico and Arizona, kind of right in the Mogollon Rim, the White Mountains of Arizona, and across parts of Colorado. So it's still a ways away. I mean, it's more than a week away, but it's something we'll watch for here, obviously, with, everybody having outdoor plans. It's something to be aware of here. All right. Since we've been talking, My friends at the Storm Prediction Center have issued what is called a mesoscale discussion to talk about what they're seeing. You know, they're kind of the national arm of the Weather Service and of NOAA that focus on, the likelihood of severe weather over, like the size of a third of a state or something like that. And they just put this out for southeastern Colorado, for parts of New Mexico and parts of Oklahoma and Texas in the panhandles because of the situation that we currently have ongoing. So there is potential here for sustained severe thunderstorms to continue over the next several hours. And you can see the updrafts from these storms here off to the northeast of Walsenburg. Like I told you as we started this here, these storms are going to move into an environment where they will have the potential to remain as severe thunderstorms, or maybe kind of pulse toward severe levels and then come down below them a little bit. So there's a likelihood that we get a severe thunderstorm watch issued here for parts of southeastern Colorado into northeast New Mexico and the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas for the evening. So the biggest risk with these things is some damaging wind gusts, some hail around maybe 1.5 inches in diameter across our neck of the woods. You can also see some of the cumulus clouds that are going up here across parts of Oklahoma and Texas. That shows you that the atmosphere is becoming more and more unstable in these areas. So that's something to be aware of. When we get to that point, I will get back on. I will let you know the severe thunderstorm warning has been extended off to the northeast of Walsenburg. You can see the new one that is just issued here as it's now 5:45, and the other one has expired. This one is in effect until 6:15, so for another half hour. We'll keep an eye on it. It is approaching Highway 10 now. It has the potential to produce some hail around 1.25 inches in diameter. It's just under the size of ping pong balls. It's something that we'll keep an eye on here. The storm, the computer not doing a good job of tracking it, so I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to manually move it here off to the southeast at about 25 miles per hour. There are no organized towns for this to hit, so I'm going to pop off of here as of now. But for those of you that are in eastern Huerfano County, just heads up. Northern Los Animas County as well, there is a severe thunderstorm warning for that storm that I know a lot of you have been looking at over the last little bit. You're on Peaks to Plains Weather, our weather together. As we continue thunderstorm coverage here through the evening, I want to let you know that you can always join our coverage if you are out in front of the storm, if the storm has moved through your area. If you are in a safe space, you can do so by using the links that we always have available for you. And there are a couple links that you can use. They are vmix.at/1rjsl1 or vmix.at/zmSjK. And in the top one, the S and K are capitalized, and in the bottom, the J and S are capitalized. So just want to kind of set that stage for you before we head into the rest of the evening here. Again, one more look at this severe thunderstorm that could be producing some hail slightly larger than 1 inch in diameter, and perhaps some wind gusts around 60 miles per hour. Let's take a look at that here really quick. If I query some of this wind here, it doesn't look like at the present time we're getting signals that the storm is producing wind that strong, but something that I will keep an eye on here. In the vicinity of the updraft, we're getting up around 30 miles per hour or so. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. As of right now, areas off to the east of Walsenburg most likely to have some severe weather in the area. You're watching Peaks to Plains Weather, our weather together, our commitment to keep you and your family safe regardless of the time of day, the time of night, and the most detailed, accurate, and useful forecast from the most experienced weather team in the area. Thanks for watching.
This is John May, General Manager of Petrale Roofing, up on another customer's roof doing a free 21-point inspection. If you'd like us to take a look at your roof, give us a call today, 719-375-8773. We'd be happy to take a look and see the condition of your roof. Petrale Roofing, we're a Diamond certified TAMCO installer, which means we can offer a industry-leading 25-year workmanship warranty to give you peace of mind in the storm. Call Petrale Roofing, 719-375-8773. Schedule your free inspection today.